Okay. Yeah, I think we're live. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think we're live. Um, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let me see, is this lighting working? We are. I think we're good. I think we are on fire. I think we're great. So basically what we're gonna be doing today is going ahead and just kind of ranking all the Boruto arcs because I've had a history with Boruto, you know? I didn't like it at first. I watched, I watched a little bit of the anime, and then I read the manga. I ended up honestly enjoying the manga a lot, and now I have fully caught up with the anime, and I honestly really like it. I have really enjoyed Boruto more than I thought I would. And I actually think that the anime improves on the manga in a lot of ways. It's probably the one that I prefer, weirdly enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do a tier list here on stream, ranking all the Boruto anime arcs. I hope the sound is okay. Let me. I don't know how to check that. um. Yes. Yeah. We're gonna take a second for me to. It seems like my sound is on. Let's go. I don't know what I'm doing. Is the issue. So let's just jump into this. Let's get right into Boruto. Let's see if the stream is working. Oh dear. Here we go, and we are on it. Let's go right ahead and start the tier list. Let's just get into it, man. So here on the tier list, I think almost all the arcs. I did exclude certain things. I didn't include the like the Steam Ninja Scrolls or the adaptation of the Sasuke novels, only because well, number one, I haven't watched those, admittedly, but also I want to stick with like specifically Boruto arcs for now. Anyway, I'm sure eventually I'll talk about the dinosaur stuff, but we'll get there when we get there, and now is not that time. So that being said, other than that, I think I pretty much have all the Boruto arcs on here up to the hiatus where we are currently. So let's just jump right into it and begin with the very first arc of Boruto, the Academy entrance arc. So we're starting with one that I'm honestly a little bit mixed on. There's a lot that I like about this arc. I actually really like the like slice of life stuff that Boruto does. I think it's really cool to see that. That's one thing that I think is really different than like Naruto and Shippuden, but I really enjoy it. I like seeing more slice of life type stories. So I really didn't mind that aspect of this arc. I thought that was actually pretty fun, pretty cool to see. That being said, I'm not totally sure how I feel about the Sumire villain reveal. I think she's a more interesting character in the anime than she is in the manga for sure, and I think there's a lot more to her. And it's cool, it gives her more to connect with Kawaki about later on. Major spoilers for Boruto, by the way. Maybe I should have said that earlier on. Well, it is what the video's about, so anyway. But that being said, I'm not entirely sure how I felt about that. I was never 100% on board with like the ghost Nue stuff. The Jogan is a little bit weird, but um, but I don't like hate it or anything. It's like it's kind of cool, but there are a few things that are a little bit holding it back for me. So I think for now I'm gonna go with a B tier because I think like it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like something that I'm gonna get really excited to rewatch all the time, you know? The Sarada Uchiha arc slash the one with Sheen in it, I didn't like this one. I thought this one was I thought Sheen was kind of a dumb villain. I didn't really like seeing all that stuff, and the whole, like, dragging, the Uchiha and, like, the Akatsuki back into it felt kind of forced. Like, it was kinda lame. The twist that it was all Orochimaru's fault in some, like, roundabout way was really funny. But, it's whatever, and the whole thing of, I think Sarada's a character who I'm a little bit mixed on, honestly. I think there are things that I like about her and things that I don't like about her. And while I think her whole dynamic with Sasuke is interesting, it does feel like I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of this arc. I thought it was I wasn't super attached to it. I'm gonna go D tier actually because it kind of annoyed me, to be totally honest with you. Um, okay. Next is the school trip arc, and that's an A tier for me. I really enjoyed that one. I really like Kagura. I think Kagura is a very fun character. I think he's pretty cool. I like this arc. I like the whole idea of this like kind of underground like this like group who wants to like go back to the blood mist is kind of interesting. Just bringing up the blood mist is fun because I think that's a really interesting area of lore. So yeah, and Yagura's legacy and all of that was super fun. And I think it did also include a lot of the slice of life stuff that I really like when Boruto does. So for me, School Trip is A tier. That's a solid arc. Graduation exams is next up. Next we have graduation exams. Let me really think about this one. Let me really consider. It's it's weird because this is only a couple of episodes. Like this is a really short one. And at the same time, graduation exams. It's like it's less cool than the Bell test for sure. It's not as cool as the tuning exams either, but it was, like, fine, like, there was nothing wrong with it, but I kind of forget it's there most of the time. We're gonna go C tier because I usually don't remember that this arc exists, and I feel like that's a good, like, baseline for C tier are the arcs that I just don't remember anything about. Um, so yeah, and that's what we're gonna do with that one. The first mission arc, that's another C tier. I watched it and I now to be fair, I only watched it once. But I don't think I could name one thing that happened in that arc, to be completely honest. So it didn't stick out very much to me. And I think that's another like shorter one, but I think it felt like super fillery. That was definitely a more fillery seeming arc than a lot of them. So yeah, that one's gonna go in C tier. And next up, we have the Byakuya Gang arc. So once again, I'm kind of mixed on this one because I don't actually mind the like central character, and I like that Shikadai was important. That's one thing that I really like that the Boruto anime does actually is like put importance on characters who are there, but usually don't really do very much. And Shikadai is one of those characters where like he's always kind of there, but he usually doesn't have much to do. So I do really like in this arc how he was more of a central character and got a bestie to hang out with and have like a tragic end to their friendship or whatever. That was kind of cool. And I forget his name to be honest, but I like the ice release guy. He was interesting. It did kinda there was, like, a cool mystery element to it too, but it's another one where it it was a little there were parts of it that I felt like were a little bit weird, and there were parts of it that, maybe I wasn't the biggest fan of. Boruto was, like Boruto was almost, like, too I don't know, Boruto was kinda acting wild in that arc. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you joining me on the stream? Are you joining me? Come here. Come here. Come up. You gotta say hi to the stream. Come say hi. Come say hi to the stream. Come here. Can you come up? Can you come up? Come on. Come on. Oh, someone's shy. I have a friend here, but she's shy. Come here. You gotta show yourself. You gotta show yourself on camera. You gotta show yourself. Here. There she is. There's our friend. Are you joining the stream? Yeah. You always want to have all the attention. So, back to ranking Boruto arcs. Apologies for the intrusion. Yeah, Byakuya Gang. I'm mixed on this one. I think this is I like it. I think that goes with the Academy entrance. I definitely enjoyed it. I didn't like hate watching it or anything. Like it was pretty good. But I definitely didn't like it enough for it to be an A or an S. And there are arcs that are S ranks. Okay, we'll get to those. We'll get to those. Versus Momoshiki arc slash, tuning exams arc. That's a pretty solid one. That one, I mean, obviously that's the one that actually started everything. That was also like what the movie was about or whatever. The fight with Momoshiki was really cool. That was really cool. The tuning exams was pretty cool to see too. I don't think it had the same like energy as the tuning exams in like Naruto did, but it's also super different. Like the tuning exams in Naruto was more like intense, high stakes kind of stuff than the Boruto one was a little bit more just like fun. Yeah, which I don't think is like necessarily worse. It's just definitely a different vibe, but I didn't mind it. It was pretty cool. Boruto cheating is iconic. Let's see. I think I gotta put that one in A just because it is kind of an iconic arc. And I do like the Momoshiki stuff, especially the fight with Momoshiki at the end was awesome. So we'll put that in A. We'll do another A there. Okay. Before I get into this next part, I want to say that I don't know what like the fandom perception of these arcs is. So what's coming up in the next couple of arcs might be some spicy takes, or I might be really basic. But the Mitsuki disappearance arc, okay. I love Mitsuki. Okay, I just want to say that. Okay, I love Mitsuki. He's super fun character. One of my top characters, actually. One of my top Boruto characters is Mitsuki. And this is why I like the anime so much, is because it adds a lot of Mitsuki content and fun stuff. That being said, I hated this arc. It was hard to watch the whole thing. It was like and the thing is, I love Mitsuki content. So the times when Mitsuki was actually on screen, like interacting with those like other characters, I forget their names, was fine. Like that was kind of interesting. I like seeing that. I didn't mind those other new characters. What they did with Onoki was like I could take it or leave it. But I think what really dragged this arc for me was the fact that the whole thing felt like those video games where you're getting like 4 side quests before you can actually get anything done. Like that's what it was like before we could get to the actual Mitsuki stuff, we had to follow Boruto as like everybody kept giving him side quests. And like I felt like, frustration. I was like secondhand frustrated on behalf of Boruto because he just wants to do this thing, but it's like, no, first you have to go talk to the snake guy, but you can't do that till you pass the snake test. And then you talk to the snake guy, and that doesn't really help. So now we have to go do this other thing. And it's like, just get to the Mitsuki stuff. This is so God, it was so frustrating. Um, and I didn't really mind the snake like tests either. I thought those were actually kind of fun. But it was frustrating because it was like, it was like the Sasuke baiting that they did at the end of part one and all that filler that I unfortunately watched because I didn't know it was filler at the time. Where it would be like, maybe if we beat this filler villain, we'll finally get a clue to Sasuke. And me at age like 12 who didn't know it was filler was like, oh, maybe we'll get to the plot again soon. So that's kind of the feeling it gave me watching that, where it's like, maybe if we do this side quest first, then maybe we'll get to the Mitsuki stuff that this arc is about. So not enough Mitsuki content. Really just went completely all over the place. It was Like, it all did tie together, but at the same time, it again felt like just a series of kinda side quests that you had to watch Boruto do that eventually built to, the main point of the arc or whatever. I don't know. I did not enjoy this arc, and I'm a big Mitsuki fan, okay? No shade to Mitsuki, I love him, but this arc was not it for me. I did not like it. D. I did not enjoy this arc. Parent and Child Day is weird that it's considered an arc. If it was on the wiki as an arc, I threw it on here. But this is really like 3 episodes. That being said, A tier, loved it. Super funny, super wholesome. Like I said, I like slice of life stuff in Boruto. And yeah, cool. It was great. Cursed Seal slash, the Jugo stuff arc with Jugo and the birds. This has some iconic moments. Boruto was really sassy in it, which was funny, but at the same time, it once again felt like a little bit. It felt pretty fillery. It was like it's the kind of thing that like I know it is canon, but I also can't help but feel like nothing would change if I had skipped it. um, and Jugo is like I don't have an issue with Jugo. Like he's fine, but he's also just not a character I'm like super compelled to like watch more content about. So like I don't know if you're like a big Jugo fan, like this arc would probably be cool. But I'm kind of just like fine with Jugo. So I think I'm gonna put this. I think I'm gonna put it in C because it had some funny moments and like some fun times, and it didn't make me angry like these 2 arcs down here did. Which this one made me angry because I was really frustrated at them being like, remember the Akatsuki? It's like, yeah, I do. You can stop now. And then this one was just Mitsuki baiting me the whole time while giving Boruto side quests. So these made me angry. Cursed Seal, I was just mid on. It felt pretty fillery, but it was also kind of funny sometimes. It's whatever. The One Tail Escort mission arc is next on the list. And this one, I have more mixed feelings on this one. I have mixed feelings on a lot of these earlier. Like the first half of Boruto was mostly mixed feelings. um, but the One Tail arc, hmm, I don't know. Because on one hand, I do like seeing how Boruto and Shinki interact. I think that was pretty interesting. I thought that was like a fun kind of relationship to have, like grow and change because they had some like unfinished business in the Chunin exams. And I thought it was cool that that was brought back up and they, hung out with each other by force. I thought it was kind of fun. But it was another one that felt like it just dragged on kind of long. There was a lot of like, uh, there just wasn't really enough. I think this is a. I'm torn between B or C tier because I do like the Boruto and Shinki dynamic, but I don't. It wasn't super memorable. I think it's gonna go in C tier because it wasn't really all that memorable, to be honest. Um, and next we have the time slip arc, time travel. Boruto and Sasuke travel through time. The fact that there was time travel was a little bit weird. I feel like that kind of opens up a lot of questions, but I'm not gonna ask. Whatever. It was kind of fun to see. It was interesting. I think this is like the time. It was like this arc that I feel like really made a lot of people get into Boruto, seeing all this stuff of like Boruto's interacting with Part One Naruto. But it was. Mm, I don't know. I think it was cool to see, and it was a cool concept for sure. I think it was like cool that Boruto got that as like a character, and had like more of an understanding of Naruto after that arc. Hmm. The fact that Sasuke was just there with him was funny. I like Boruto and Sasuke as a team. They're very silly. Sasuke, I feel like would be a nightmare if you had to do like a group project with him. But I love him for that, and I'm glad Boruto loves him for that. So, hmm, I'm like debating because I do kind of feel like I should put it in A, but at the same time, I low key kind of feel like I like those two arcs more. Is that like a crazy hot take? I feel like it's a weirdly hot take. Hold on. We're gonna make an extra tier actually. We're gonna go ahead and create A minus, and we're gonna put the time slip arc in A minus, and then we're gonna fix the colors because I cannot stand when tier list colors don't look right. I am an art student, an illustrator, and this is just gonna bother me if it's not accurate. So there we go. Now that the colors are fixed and I've created A minus as a tier, that's where the time slip arc is gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and put it right there. And next we have the Boruto and Tento arc, the Mujino Bandits or whatever. Um, let's see. This is the first arc that I think I watched after reading the manga version of it. So this is the first arc that I read the manga first and then watched what the anime did with it. And both times it was kind of meh. It was cool because there was that part at the end where Boruto's like karma starts doing things and everyone's like, "Whoa, what's up with that?" Which was cool. That was cool. I think the like ninja trading cards are kind of fun. I think it's kind of a fun idea for just something that happens in Boruto. But at the same time, eh, I think I'm gonna put this one in B. I enjoyed it enough, but I definitely didn't like it as much as these arcs up here. But I think I'm more attached to this one than I am these guys. And like I said, these ones made me angry. So, and next up we have Kara Actuation. Okay, this is gonna be another hot take, I think. But I really did not like Kara Actuation, and maybe that's just because at the time I had read the manga, and at the end of this arc, I was ready to get into the AO stuff and get that done so that Kawaki can show up, and then Kara Actuation has Kawaki hinted at in like the opening, I think, or maybe that's the next one. No, I think that's Kara Actuation, and then he's not there. Okay, where is Kawaki? Kawaki aside, though, car actuation, I just like, I don't know. I didn't really like it. I felt like a lot of it was. I see the appeal. It's just not really my thing, to be honest. There was a lot that I just felt like was just dragged out, and it's a really long arc. So because I wasn't that attached to it, just felt like it went on forever, and I just really wanted to get to like the vessel stuff already. So for me, honestly, I really didn't like car actuation. That that's probably a hot take. That is probably a spicy take. Um, and don't judge me too hard. I'm just a really big fan of Kawaki. Okay. Now the Ao arc slash vessel arc. The fact that Ao shows up as a villain is like kind of silly because he's just like some random dude. But at the same time, it's fair. It's definitely fair. He's there. It's not like he's doing anything else. Like he was just one of those characters in Shippuden who was just like in scenes sometimes, every once in a while. And now in Boruto, he's like an actual guy, so that's kind of cool. And the like Kashin Koji reveal in this arc was pretty awesome. It was pretty cool. I liked Boruto bringing back all of his situation from learning not to be a cheater in the tuning exams. Hydrate. Let's see. Yeah, I think the Aho arc is solid. I don't think it's like crazy good or anything. I think I'm just gonna put it there. I like the mystery of what the vessel is too before we meet Kawaki. I think I like now that I'm looking at it the Academy entrance arc more than the other arcs on this tier. Do I want to move that up? Hmm. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Academy entrance is going up. I I feel better about this placement. Yeah, I like this better. I like this better. Okay, it's time. It's time. The Kawaki arc is my favorite Boruto arc. It's so good. I love Kawaki so much. He's such a fun character. He's so interesting. I love his dynamic with Naruto. I love his dynamic with Boruto. I love seeing Kawaki get settled into Konoha. The anime fixed like all my major problems with the manga at this point, which is that I felt like Kawaki in the manga really doesn't have a too much of a connection with people outside of like Naruto and Boruto. But the anime, I think, is making major improvements on that, or has made major improvements on that. This arc, the Kawaki arc, which is kind of split into two. It's the first half of the Kawaki arc, and then you have the Otsutsuki Awakens or Otsutsuki Awakening arc. Which you know what? I don't know why I put them here separately, but they're both S. That is amazing. That fight with Ishiki is so good. It's so good. The final section where Kawaki uses shadow clones against Ishiki, I just love that so much. It's so well done, and I'm just so attached to like Kawaki's arc. I think his arc is like so emotional. It's so like there's just so much to get attached to. I love that section so much. I think the anime improved on the manga and fixed all the issues I had with this section in the manga. So yeah, both parts of the Kawaki arc, the Kara stuff, and then the Otsutsuki Awakens, both of those are S tier for me. I love those arcs. And next we have the Chunin re-exams, or the second Chunin exams. And I think this was a really fun one, honestly. I liked seeing Boruto's class end up passing the Chunin exams. It was cool in, Shippuden to see Naruto come back and suddenly everyone's been promoted like 3 times and he's like, well, why am I the only Genin? But I think it's also cool to actually see the people who didn't become Chunin now trying again to become Chunin. That was pretty interesting. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I thought this was just a nice, fun arc. I think it was cool as like it was cool where it is too, because the Otsutsuki Awakened section is so tense and such like an intense arc, and then the next one, the Battle of Kiri, is also kind of a really intense arc. So I think this one is kind of more of a lighthearted, like fun. Let's all become Chunin now. I think it's cool where it's placed. I don't I think I'm gonna put it an A minus. I don't like it as much as these guys, but I think it's a solid arc. I think that one's solid. And next we have the Battle of Kiri arc. I am huh, I'm mixed on this one because I like the Mist Village, and I like every time the Mist Village gets introduced. And I actually like the people from the school trip arc, like coming back, bringing some of those characters back. And Kagura again, fire, love Kagura, but I'm like not totally sure all about how I don't know. I'm like really in denial that like Kagura died in this arc too. Like he didn't do that. Um, it's not a thing that happened. But at the same, I don't know. I like this arc, but I didn't like it as much as some of the other ones on here. I honestly think this one is either B or A minus. No, I think I don't like it as much as these guys, but I think I like it more than these guys. Um, no, I think this is fine. I'm okay putting it in B tier. It's just like a kind of high B tier, but I think it's B tier. Okay, the Academy arc is another S. And I know I'm putting all the Kawaki arcs in S tier. That's because I love Kawaki. But aside from that, this arc is so fun. I love like I said, I love when Boruto does slice of life stuff, and there's some of that in this arc. I think Himawari is such a fun character. And knowing, because I'm not totally caught up with Two Blue Vortex, but I'm read a few chapters into it, And Himawari obviously is a pretty important character so far in Two Blue Vortex. It's a little bit weird in the manga that Himawari just kind of appears out of nowhere almost. Like she's obviously there, but before Two Blue Vortex, she really doesn't do anything. Like there's not really any arc before that that's about Himawari or that has focus on her. Like the most focus she gets before that is like when she's sad because the vase broke in the manga, and like that's it. Like she's sad once and like she just doesn't do anything. So I love in the anime adding an arc where she's actually a main character. I think that's going to when the anime does eventually get to adapting post time skip stuff into Blue Vortex, assuming it will eventually, I hope so. um, that's going to make all that stuff in Himawari being kind of more of a prominent character there, I think, make way more sense than it does in the manga. And I love that she and Kawaki have more of a connection with each other and have more of an actual like dynamic. Whereas again, in the manga, you have Kawaki obviously kind of regretting that he upset Himawari, and you have like, they acknowledge each other, but they never really have like moments where they get to just have a dynamic and like really bond with each other. So once again, I think this is such a cool idea to include an arc where it is Kawaki and Himawari as the two protagonists. I think that's super fun, and I honestly like the characters introduced in Himawari's academy class too. I think a lot of them are pretty fun. So that's an S tier. Love that arc. It's so slay. It's so solid. Okay, the Labyrinth game arc, that's A tier. That's gotta be an A tier because it's just a death game. Dude, I love death games. Like, I'm gonna be so real. I love death games. Your Turn to Die, Danganronpa. I watch a lot of death game movies, As the Gods Will, Werewolf Game, all that stuff. So many death games. I love the whole genre of death games, and the Labyrinth arc in Boruto is literally a death game. It has all the tropes, right? It has all the. They wake up and it like just is the Squid Game room basically, but like smaller. And then you have like the rival character who's like, I'm only out for my own survival. You actually have two of those. And then you have, the reveal that like there's a spy among the group, and then you have a mastermind reveal like they always do in Danganronpa. You have like all this stuff, and all you have like the here are the rules, and then we're gonna outsmart the rules. Playing the game, kind of. It's just it has all the tropes of a death game, which I love. I really appreciate that. I have no clue why there's just suddenly a death game in the middle of Boruto, but I can't complain. That's awesome. I love death games. So that's an A tier arc, man. That's an A tier. What are you gonna do? How do you not put the death game arc in A tier? That's just where it's gotta go. Not enough Kawaki, so I can't put it in S tier. S is yeah, I mean S yeah. So that's kind of the qualification for S tier. But um, you know, Labyrinth game arc is awesome. That's so fun. That's such a fun idea. They're in a train that just disappears and they get put in death game. That's awesome. And then the Code arc, the most recent one. Um, yeah, I think this is another good arc. I like Code. I like Code as a character. He's a loser, but that's kind of what I love about him. That makes him lovable. I love Ada. I love Damon. I kind of talked about this in my video where I drew Boruto characters that I like. Pretty much every main character in the Code arc was in that video. So it's like, yeah, it's like a bunch of characters I like, just like having conflict. So I can't really complain. um, I don't think. Hmm. We're gonna make an A plus tier though and put it in A plus because I am not totally sure if I like it as much as my S tiers. So we're gonna go ahead and put the Code arc right there. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's valid. I think with that, I think that's my tier list. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. That looks pretty. That's pretty much my opinion on all the Boruto arcs. This was a short stream. I honestly expected to be talking for way longer than I was talking for. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to look at it to see if there's anything that I want to change. But no, this is pretty much how I feel about the Boruto arcs. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That was the stream. That was me ranking all the arcs in the Boruto anime because I'm caught up with it now and I honestly really enjoyed it. So, yeah, thanks for watching. If you're here for the live, thanks for coming to the stream. I'm going to try to stream more often. If you're watching it later, thanks for watching. Subscribe. I don't actually have like a snappy reason right now off the top of my head. Um, I don't know if I'm still on like my vengeance arc after the last video, but we'll see where it goes. So subscribe to see where it goes with me. And yeah, fun streaming.